Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight back, roughly 2 millennia, to the Sangam era, right into the heart of ancient South India. We're going to examine something so completely commonplace today that we rarely even give it a second thought. But back then, it carried the absolute weight of the cosmos. I'm talking about jewelry.
I want you to completely rethink everything you know about adornment. Seriously, what if jewelry wasn't actually meant for beauty, but for survival? Put yourself in the shoes of someone living in that ancient, often unforgiving world. They didn't forge intricate gold and silver simply to look good. They engineered these items as profound spiritual armor.
Section 1. The protective tali system, shielding the vulnerable from unseen forces. So to really understand this, we have to entirely strip away our modern idea of decorative bling and look at the neck. It's a particularly vulnerable part of the body, right? Now today, the word tali or Mangalsutra is instantly associated with marriage, but the historical reality is completely different. Ancient Tamil texts reveal that the tali was actually a daily shield. It was an amulet proudly worn by women and even young children of both sexes, and its express purpose was to ward off malevolent, evil spirits.
And this physical arsenal of amulets was incredibly specific. Just imagine placing a pulley-paw tali, literally a charm made of actual tiger teeth on your child to invoke primal ferocity. Or the Amai tali, which was shaped like a tortoise for grounded defense and longevity. They even summoned divine intervention through the Ambadai tali, utilizing Vishnu's 5 sacred emblems. The conch, discus, mace, bow, and sword. These weren't just accessories. They were literal physical tools of spiritual warfare.
Even the smallest infants were armed with kinkini. Now, while feet were generally left unadorned, mostly because wearing gold on the feet was traditionally reserved for gods and kings, the vulnerable ankles of children were a major exception. Parents designed these diminutive anklets so the very sound of their tinkling bells would keep malevolent, unseen forces at bay.
Section 2. Celestial adornments, aligning with the cosmic order.
But the Sangam people didn't just look to the jungle for protection. They looked up to the heavens. And this brings us to a really fascinating concept called Reta. It's the ancient philosophical principle of absolute cosmic order. Artisans genuinely believed that to protect the wearer, the jewelry itself had to mathematically reflect the universe's perfect balance. Because of this, artisans didn't use open settings. Instead, they set stones deep into thick wax and gold, ensuring the left side was always a perfect mirror image of the right to maintain that sacred balance. The effect they achieved was incredibly heavy, very three-dimensional. They were literally embedding the laws of the universe into solid gold, transforming the human face into a map of cosmic harmony.
Actually, even facial piercings were mathematically balanced to maintain this symmetry. A woman wouldn't just wear one random nose ring. If she wore the nathu on her left nostril, cosmic order dictated she had to wear the basari on her right, which was sometimes intricately shaped like a swan. So the face itself became an altar of balance.
We also see this cosmic alignment in the thalasamon headpieces, which literally crowned women with the divine protection of the sun and the moon. Worn by brides and devadesis or temple dancers, these heavy, stone-set ornaments rested right along the parting of the hair. By wearing the sun and the moon encrusted in rubies and uncut diamonds, the wearer was directly invoking the absolute highest celestial blessings available.
Section 3. Serpents, myths, and nature, forging the wild into gold.
Okay, but they didn't just look to the stars. They channeled the fierce protective power of nature and myth through some absolutely incredible zoomorphic designs. Notice how the serpent, or naga, is a recurring motif here. It acts as a coiled guardian gripping the arms and the hair of the wearer. The Rakakoti positioned a 5-headed snake right at the back of the head, while the Jatanagam followed the entire length of a woman's plate like an intertwined serpent. Even the upper arms were gripped by the Vankya and Nagavathu, which were designed specifically to mimic coiled snakes. You aren't just wearing jewelry, you were wearing venomous, mythical guardians.
Section 4. Materials of social strata, the physical elements of identity.
Now, the specific materials forming this spiritual armor varied wildly depending on exactly who you were in Sangam society. The desire for protection was universal, sure, but the resources were definitely not. While the elite channeled cosmic power through diamonds and gold, everyday people found equally potent protection using the earth itself, things like terracotta, shells, and bone. The materials were a direct reflection of social strata. Excavations have brought up massive amounts of terracotta bangles and shell necklaces used by the commoners. Yet functionally, a terracotta amulet was trusted to ward off evil just as fiercely as a royal emerald.
And we absolutely can't overlook indigenous tribes like the Toda and Kadar. They forged massive, heavy silver wire and intricate beadwork to guard their people. Deep in the Nilgiri and Annamalai hills, completely different aesthetics of protection evolved. And the nomadic Nari Karavas, they served as the vital lifeline, trading these beads and organic amulets across the region, essentially weaving these diverse communities together through the trade of protective charms.
Section 5. Rituals in Daily Life. Living within the armor.
So how do they actually live day to day while wearing these heavy, symbolic items? Well, it wasn't just about casually putting on an object. The very act of preparing the body was a ritual in itself. Literature from the era describes how they divided young girls' hair into 5 distinct parts, braiding each separately and weaving in protective carni flowers. They actually cropped young girls' hair close to the scalp, leaving only 5 small tufts that they gradually grew out. This deeply structured approach to the body shows how every single aspect of life was tightly bound to tradition and spiritual safeguarding.
And this required incredible physical dedication. Older rural women would literally stretch their ears to bear the weight of the massive pompadam earrings. This was definitely not a quick fashion statement. It was a lifelong physical commitment. The pompadam was actually composed of 6 distinct, very heavy gold pieces. To wear it, a woman had to slowly and painfully enlarge her earlobes over decades, physically adapting her body to carry her gold.
And the men were equally protected. They'd step onto the battlefield draped in tiger-skin chest armor and wearing their king's totemic flowers as badges of honor. We see the exact same blending of physical and spiritual armor for men here. They didn't just carry lances and daggers. They wore protective todi armbands and specific flowers, kind of like a royal insignia woven into their hair, to channel the collective strength of their clan and king right into battle.
Section 6. The Eternal Armor. Echoes of the Sangam Era.
From a simple terracotta bangle to a 5-headed diamond serpent, every piece of Sangam jewelry was a profound testament to survival and identity. They used the cosmos, the jungle, and the earth to shield themselves from a highly unpredictable world. It really makes you wonder about the things we wear today, right? What hidden protections might we still be subconsciously seeking? Adornment is deeply human. It's a way of drawing boundaries and asserting power over the unknown. So, what invisible forces are you trying to ward off? Leave a comment and let me know. What is your daily armor? Thank you for exploring the source material with me today in this explainer. Until next time, stay curious.